Hello and welcome to Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive. I'm Debra, your host. Welcome to the show. Really excited to have today's guest. She's done tons of amazing things, has great insight. She's coming to us from Tel Aviv, so she stayed up late just to record with us. We're very, very grateful for that. Let's just get right in it, shall we? Lirone Glikman is a globally recognized expert, keynote speaker, and best-selling author specializing in business relationships, personal branding, and global business development. She's the founder of The Human Factor by Lirone Glikman, a global consulting and training firm with 20 plus years of experience across 26 countries. She's worked with Fortune 500 companies, governments, universities, and startups. She's the author of the Super Connectors Playbook and an honorary advisor to the UN's NGO Committee on Sustainable Development. Please welcome Laron to Deals with Heels.
Hi, Deborah. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for
Yay!
having me. How are you today?
I am doing well for a Monday. I always record on Mondays, and I don't know why. It's like start the week off with a bang.
It's a good start of the week. Yes.
Yes. And I'm so happy to have you on the show. I always start with allowing you to tell us about your entrepreneurial journey, how you got to kind of where you are, the badass entrepreneur you are today.
Wow, what a question. So, to be honest, I always wanted to have my own business. And, my father used to tell me, hey, you can start as a CEO. And I said, watch me. Now, as you can imagine, my first few businesses, weren't so successful. I tried a lot of things. Like when I was young, I was on the one hand, I worked for a company and then I tried to do my own ventures. Through that, I moved by myself to Sydney, Australia.
Ooh.
Was like I without knowing anyone, I got a radio show and my English was very bad at the time. And I don't know why. How come? I mean, they gave me a radio show because they said to me, your English sucks, but I love your vibes. And then a few months later, I got to work for the sixth biggest corporate at the time, Westfield Shopping Center in their marketing division. I know they're also in the US. And I mean, I looked back and I said, hey, I came to a new country. I didn't know anyone. And I was able to build a good enough network to work for the biggest corporate in the country. And then, long story short, I kind of realized that I probably understand how to achieve things through communication, through relationship building. And then I also realized that we are not taught how to do it. Some of us have it naturally and some of us don't. And then I started continued working in business development and marketing and so on. And I moved by myself to New York, prepared for 6 months in order to find a job and to get the visa I wanted. And I found a job in a PR firm within 3 weeks in New York City without having a US education or US, connection. And that essentially just strengthened the method that I'm teaching today. Fast forward, I just understand that, hey, I have something to share with the world. I want to share it with the world. I developed it. And that's in a nutshell what enabled it to tell my dad, hey, you know what? It didn't happen in one day, more like 14 years, but I made it.
Still 14 years. And
yeah.
I just have to say, I'm astounded by your courage to just at such a young age go to a new country where you don't know anyone. Hands up if that's intimidating. I mean, it is. To be able to do that, where do you think that courage came from?
It's interesting because throughout my journey, my life, so many people told me, oh my God, you're so courageous. And for me, it was never about courage. It was maybe more about an inner calling. Like, again, I'm going back to my father. It's all about our parents. We can always blame them. So he's a retired airline pilot. And growing up, I had the privilege of traveling the world and being a people person. I was always so fascinated about people. And I wanted to be able to have friends in every country or culture because I felt that on the one hand, it will enrich my life and my knowledge. I do believe, like Guy Kiyosaki said, that if you know a little about a lot, so you know a little about a lot of topics, you can connect to anyone in the world. And also I felt like it will make me feel more safe and enable me to do big things and good things if I know a lot of people. So for me, it was just a calling. Like I felt like I want to move to Australia. Then I felt like I want to make it in the US. I wasn't able to make it in the US back then. The move didn't end up so well. I was actually not getting paid by the boss who hired me. And, I was almost homeless in New York and I came back with like $2,000 in the bank. This very, very sad story, but it,
A great
these are the stories
learning.
that build you, like,
Yes,
and
you
yeah,
learned, and what an adventure. You have so
yeah,
much. It built so much. And it does make sense that you
yeah,
got to travel with your dad. So you were open-minded about other places. If you had just been
mhm,
shell-shocked somewhere your whole time, then just
yeah,
up and moving by yourself to another country would be even scarier. But I also think that when we're young, we're so used to change. It's not
yeah,
scary. It's every day. I change, you
mhm,
change physically, your voice, everything changes so much when you're a
exactly.
child, your friends, your classmates, your teachers. You move, you have no control over any of it. You just have to accept that change. And it's not that some kids don't find it a struggle, it's that they just do
Mhm.
it. They learn, they're flexible, and we lose that getting in a big rut as we get older. So I love that. You were so it's a brave thing to start as a young woman being out by yourself. It is. I love that
Yeah.
confidence so much.
But I have to say that it's also a muscle. I mean, you don't have to move to a new country in order to get used to, unstable things in life. But it's definitely a muscle. Like today, working again in business development and travel, I travel a lot. And every time I go to a new country, I already know kind of the set of actions I should take and type of people and bodies I'm approaching to build this little, I would say, lobby or connection or network that essentially could open doors for me for both social reasons and business reasons. So,
They
like
often
everything that you do. Yeah,
yeah, they often interconnect, right?
exactly.
I definitely want one of the reasons I really liked what you're doing, I really like how it's focused on humanity, right? I'm involved in a project myself that I haven't talked about before that
Tell
it
us.
is really focused on the power of humanity. It's called the Growth Vanguard, powered by humanity. And I have a partner in it, and I'm going to offer my sales and mindset coaching through that platform and give other people the opportunity to help. But I love how you're so focused on those personal connections. I feel this, I don't know, it's like an intuition I'm feeling about a tendency for us to like almost go back analog because it's
Mhm.
how AI has come so far forward that we have this everything feels so fake. The AI hallucinations, all of I mean, the AI, if you don't tell it to find factual research information, it will make it all up and give it to you, what you want to hear. I mean, you've never,
True.
it is unfortunate that it's that way, but it isn't. They coined a term, AI hallucination from it. So I'm so interested in talking to you about, see how I worded it in my notes.
Mhm.
Because I was really hooked on it. I just said, let's talk about human connections and how important they are in the new AI driven world. Such a big deal. And it's what you do, build connections with people. So I'm very interested in your
Yeah.
knowledge and experience.
So, we are human. I mean, I always say that our biology and we are actually wired to connect with other people. When we, even in the, the call before that's conversation before we started this meeting, this interview, when people are aligned, when they're laughing together, then both of our bodies produce oxytocin, which is the trust, the friend, the even calming kind of hormone that enable us to even connect better, even if we're in different parts of the world right now. So many times, people are on the one hand uncomfortable or afraid, I should say, of connecting with strangers, but they need to remember that our humanity or also our biology actually is wiring us towards connection. And what I see now when it comes to AI, and I actually talk about it a lot also in my book and also in my content, it's kind of, I try to use AI and try to train people to use AI tools as a co-pilot, as an enabler of a better way to connect with people rather than taking away my voice. So, for example, sometimes before, in order to preserve my humanity. So let's say before a meeting, what I can do is write the person's name and even add their LinkedIn link to their LinkedIn profile. And I ask the chat GPT usually or the Gemini, hey, please check this person communication style and any, points of connection or common ground between us. And based on what you know about me, tell me one, what would be the best way to approach them, cold call them, or even connect with them on a conversation. Maybe I can do it when I look at their profile, but maybe the AI has some understanding that is broader than what I have. So we can definitely use it as, a mind reader or a character reader to help us connect with people better. And on another note that you said about keeping our humanity, I think the most important thing and the unscalable thing is to connect with someone. If I'll send you an AI generated message, you would probably feel it. And it's not scalable to connect with people, to shake hands, to look in the eye, to spend our time and really, really listen. But it's the most amazing thing that we can, for one, feel, and for second, be able to build a relationship that will fulfill us emotionally and maybe also on other aspects.
What do you think holds people back from
Hmm.
reaching out and making human connections? 'Cause I have in my mind what I think it is, and I want to hear what yours is.
So I'll share and then you'll share yours.
Okay.
So, based on research in the US, they said that about 90% of people have some type of social anxiety. And this social anxiety can range from speaking to authorities, speaking to 20 people in the office, maybe speaking to, again, someone from the opposite sex, stages. So it really ranges from different circumstances and people. But I think when I read it, it actually made me feel so good because it kind of normalizes the fact that most of us feel uncomfortable speaking to new people. So even the big boss that someone is now going to interview for to working with them might also feel uncomfortable in some situations. So my answer to your question would be that most people are uncomfortable and have some kind of anxiety connecting with people, and they also afraid of rejection. So, we have all these like voices in our head when we're about to approach someone, like maybe I just said something stupid. Maybe they won't like me. Maybe I'm just, I'm interrupting them or annoying them. So we need to kind of understand that these voices are, again, normalize them, but also understand that it's natural. And I always say doors that we won't knock on would not open up for us. So yeah, we need to find the courage to go out there and just go beyond those voices if we want to do something, meet someone, get somewhere.
I think I completely agree with all of those things. I was
Mhm.
breaking it down to something really simpler, which is just fear. Fear
Hmm.
of not being liked, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of being judged, all of that fear all wrapped up. And so we shrink
Hmm.
down into a smaller version of ourselves. And the
Yeah.
whole reason you're making connections is to get to know people so you can help one another. And now you just shrank because you're afraid. And I certainly
Hmm.
have been guilty of that myself. I'm great at being an extrovert and doing extroverted things,
Hmm.
but deep down, I'm really an introvert, which doesn't mean I don't like to
Hmm.
be around people. It just means it takes a toll on me and I have to recharge quietly instead of the opposite of going out and recharging and being around friends. So I think that's a part of it is just
Hmm.
really being afraid and conditioned. So for me, even though I'm good at it, right, I would still have those feelings of, man, I didn't let them get in a word in edgewise, or I shouldn't have said that. And as I would get uncomfortable, I would water myself down. And
Yeah.
even on social media, I might post something and maybe someone didn't like it and there was conflict going on. I would delete the whole post. The conflict made me feel so uncomfortable. So, in my journey of transformation, which has been started about 5 years ago, I found my voice, right? We started the podcast. I found my voice and I'm never watering myself down to make someone feel comfortable again. And I think that's a great
Mhm.
thing for people to embrace, to understand that what you have is valuable. You may not even know what it is. You may say
Mhm.
something to somebody
Yeah.
that changes their life and you don't even know that you did it. I've had one of those full circle moments where someone came up to me and said, what you said to me on this night, I remember being there on that night, and I kind of remember talking to him, but I have no recollection of the meat and potatoes of the
Yeah.
conversation because it wasn't impactful for me. But he remembers it. And he told me decades later it changed his life.
That's
I got a
such
little
an
chill.
elevating elevating moment. I
So
love what you said. Yeah.
it's so important for you to say what you have to say because you don't know who's listening and who needs to hear it. That was an
Exactly.
impactful moment. It happened a long time ago, but when I was doing my just healing from all of my things that I went through,
Yeah.
it came up in that and it made me understand on a different level that sometimes you may not see it. You may
Mm.
never see it, honestly. Let's face
Yeah.
it, we may never see it. I'm blessed that this person's in my life still, but I may
Mm.
never see it, but know that what
Yeah.
you're doing is important. Just the fact that you're doing it.
And, you just reminded me, first of all, I think as women, many of us do go through this kind of phase where at some point we really own our powers and understand, our worth much better. I know it definitely happened to me also, I guess maybe 7 years ago. I think when I was serious about being self-employed, having your own business for me is one of the best personal development programs because you are the business. If you don't believe in yourself, it will go out. If I don't think I have something to share, people won't buy from me. And there's kind of a direct link between my income to my confidence and if I believe what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So this really took me onto an amazing journey. But regardless, you don't have to be self-employed. I think it's really important to understand, to be like sensitive and have your self-critic, I would say. But then again, understand that, hey, if I want to say that, then I should say it. People will handle it. So I am trying to be in this, way of be sensitive to others and try, to like see the world outside of me. But as you said, and I really loved it, that like many things that you have to say, you have to share that your journey could be so valuable to someone else. And also, there was an amazing woman, I think Marianne Williamson. She said that when you share what you have to say and when you let your light shine, you actually give other people permissions to do the same. So if you share what you think, which is a bit personal or some kind of experience, then people would say, hey, if she said it, maybe I can also share a similar experience. So as you say, we don't know the impact we have on others. But I just to summarize it, I started to like the last like 5 years, I've been flying around the world and speaking around the world. And in the last few years, I realized that some friends within my circle also started to do it. And they actually consulted with me a lot at the beginning. And I kind of linked between the fact that I did it and I gave an example for them to start also pursuing it. So,
You inspired
we,
them.
we impact others.
Yes,
We
we
don't even
really
know. Yeah.
sometimes, especially on a podcast, you never know when you're going to say something or interview someone
Yeah.
and what they say is going to change someone's life forever. And when I do podcast coaching and help people understand that, it feels like, because it's just my life. I lived it. It doesn't feel special. It just feels normal. And that value proposition, when you get to be my age, and my birthday's in a couple weeks, y'all just go ahead and send gifts. And
Congratulations.
thank you. But so I'm in my late 50s. I'm going to be 59. And you
And you
have
don't look
this
59 and you don't feel 50.
I don't feel 59. I don't. I
But
am
you earned
healthier.
it.
I am healthier today than I have been than I definitely was in my 40s, and I'm more in my own skin. I've
Mm.
come like full circle back around to where I am comfortable, and it was messy. My audience knows. They've heard the stories of how messiness happens, but it is so important to say, to let your voice be heard. You were put here for a purpose, right? We don't always know what it is, do we? But
We listen to our voices. We listen, again, what people may seem as courage. Courage for me was like my calling. And we don't know, but we have to, I think, should try to listen to ourselves.
Right. I bet it took more courage for you to go home from New York than it did for you to leave and go to Australia. Or when we feel like a failure, boy, the courage to come back and to stand again and say, "Yep, I
Yeah.
learned that. I'm moving on." I think that's the resilience of women. No one bounces back better than a woman. We know we've had to. We bounce back for other people, right?
Yeah.
So bouncing back for ourselves, that should be easy.
I have to tell you after New York that again, my boss didn't pay me. It was a very messy and harsh situation, especially, being alone in a kind of still new place. I had an agreement with myself. I said, okay, no one will ever going to play with me when it comes to money. And you know how life gives you those, another
Yeah.
test to see, okay,
Just
did she learn the lesson?
did she
So
mean it?
6 months,
Here's another one, an opportunity. Are you gonna hold
yeah.
true to your boundary, Laron?
So about 6 months later, I had three jobs, and then I got an offer from a very known company. So I won't mention their name because I love them today. Now they invite me to do speaking engagement, but they gave me a role, and I resigned from all my three jobs, and I was happy to go there and start and having this really nice salary. And then a week before we started, they said, I'm sorry, we're not going to take this role. I'm like, no, 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 it's not going to happen. I called the founder, the CEO. I told him we're going to meet tomorrow because this is unacceptable. And we met and we had a very nice conversation. And he paid me extra to kind of compensate me for losing all my
Quitting your
other jobs.
jobs? I mean,
Yeah, for them. So again, I won't say the name of the company. It's a very known company and I love them. And I'm so happy that again, full circle, like now they invite me to do speaking engagement. So you never know, by the way, also, you need to stand for what you think is right. And for me, yeah, I asked for what I was supposed to get financially wise. But then I also don't hold grudge. I'm like, hey, you don't know where you're going to meet them again. And
exactly. I let
yeah,
go of all my grudges. And we were discussing we're both Scorpios, and
yeah,
Scorpio never forgets, man. They
never
never
forget.
forget. But I will tell you that I made a conscious effort about 15 years ago to let go of every grudge I had. And I contacted, whether it was on social media or
Mhm.
wrote a letter or email, whatever it was, I let go of all of them, every one of them. And I don't have them now because they do
Mhm.
nothing but cause you personally unhappiness, right? It
Exactly.
doesn't
And the
affect
weight
anyone.
of
No
it.
one even knows you have a grudge. It's all inside of you. You're the
Yeah.
punishing yourself for something. So I do
It's
love
free.
that. So you're working also on global branding for companies. And we have a lot of people entrepreneurs that are listening that are also trying to build global brands. Tell us how you did it. What's the best way?
Wow.
Give us
Okay.
some
So
insight. I'm sure there's just one drop answer you'll be able to just pop out. I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
so first of all, is really, I mean, when it comes to a brand and based on my experience, there are a few aspects why people find it hard to build a brand. And I would say that I work on a personal brand because the manager, the founder, the CEO, the owner, usually they are the face of the company and in many ways they are the company. So if your brand is strong and research shows it, then you'll probably be able to attract more clients, investors, and so on. And the first thing is people don't know how to build a brand. It's not about being someone else. It's about being you, but understanding what within you want to emphasize. Just for example, maybe you're a great cook, but it would be nice as an anecdote. It's not what you want to emphasize as a business owner. You want people to know that you're a great coach and that you had X certificates and that you really change people's lives. So, I mean, understand what is your mission, your usually top three messages, who is your audience, what are the strengths, values, and feel that you stand for. Once you understand that, you kind of have a brand identity. And then it's about how do I share it? And if you're looking to build a global brand, then, I mean, English speakers, then that's amazing because most of the world speaks English. What I try to do, and that would be my golden tip, is basically to associate yourself with bodies or people or companies that your audience would appreciate. So if I want to work, for example, and I do work in Germany, for example, then maybe I want to have a podcast with someone from a German company or work with a German university or even offer my like a free session for a German university of company. And then when I go to another client, I could say, hey, I already work with XYZ, and they would appreciate. They might less appreciate knowing that I work with somewhere like a company in the US because they don't know it. So try to understand which people or companies or entities your audience would appreciate, and try to create something with them. So then your brand, their brand will rub on your brand, basically.
Right. Work with like-minded people and
Yeah.
like
Like
brands.
if, like I have an event in 2 days. I'm running an event on founder-led branding at Google Campus. It could have been in any other office, but the fact I'm doing it in Google Campus actually elevates the prestige and the
Mhm.
perceived value of my event, rather if it wasn't in just an unknown office. So it's everything you do. Try to think how it positions you. Now it could be like feel daunting for people who are not from this field, but especially when you're in like your early days, that would really help you
Right,
stand
and I
out.
think a lot of times people get focused on, "I'm gonna have an event. Where can I have it that's gonna be the
Uh-huh.
least expensive, that can accommodate everyone?" And they don't think of it in terms of the way you just described it, is where it's located gives it an identity of common brand identity for where you're located. So if you pick the rinky dink place down at the
Yeah.
Comfort Inn suites with the right in their meeting room,
Uh-huh.
that may be fine for you. But if you're really wanting to be on a global level, you should get down in Enterprise Square or down somewhere that's more
Yeah.
identifiable, that's going to attract simply because of the name of where the event is.
And I'll even share another tip that I've learned through my career many times. Many, let's say, tech companies or again, commercial bodies would give you their space for free in an exchange of maybe sharing a few words with your audience. Maybe they want to get your list, and then you need to make sure that the list is legally wise, that you can share their information. But many times you can just have a barter with them rather than paying them. So try to think outside of the box.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into your book. Is it out
Yes.
now? It is.
The
There she
Super
is.
Connectors Playbook. It's on Amazon. You have an Audible, ebook, softcover, everything.
Fantastic. So tell us all about it.
Okay, I'll try to be short and sweet.
Okay.
So again, based on my experience, and I realized that nobody teaches us how to achieve goals relationships. Yes, there are some amazing figures like Dr. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI, which I love, and I also interviewed him. Keith Ferrazzi, who wrote Never Eat Alone. There's some great people out there, but I feel, based on my experience, that I bring a modern, I would say, feminine approach to how to achieve goals for relationship building plus AI. And the core is this. There are two, I believe that in order to grow and achieve our goals through relationship building, we have to have two things in mind. First of all, authenticity, which is easy to say, hard to always do. It only works when it's real. Like if you bring yourself, if you connect with people intentionally and authentically. Second thing is strategy. And many times women are uncomfortable with this word, but it's okay to have a goal. It's okay to meet someone because they might be able to help me as long as I do it in the right manner. With these two in mind, let's dive into the method that I teach. This is the human factor method that I've been teaching around the world. In order to achieve your goals through relationship building, there are 6 steps. I'll go through them and then I'll just explain them briefly. It's about knowing what is your goal if you want to achieve goals through relationship building, people, plan, brand your personal brand, connecting with people, maintaining relationship, and leveraging for results. So goal, again, it could be a small or a big goal, any goal you want to have, like find X client, get an investor, get my new job. Then the same as we have business plan and marketing plan, we don't have people plan. So try to map your people, the people that you know from your, different circles, and also who are the people that you want to get to know and you don't know them yet. So really map them out. Then it's a brand, because when I approach someone, the first thing they would do is to check who I am, Google me, ChatGPT me. So you want to make sure that your brand is um, right online and also face to face. Then it's about connecting, how to break the ice, how to build this rapport and a memorable, special connection with someone. Then it's maintaining relationship, the working and the word networking. Most people get it wrong. And then how to enroll people and leverage those relationships towards mutual results. And there's some notions of supporting one another, again, being there for others, being really intentional and authentic. This is kind of the silver lining in this method. So that's what you're going to learn in the book, like a lot of researches, and there's also a workbook, and I'm trying to make it as practical as I can.
You are so much more charming than Orvis Reisner, I will tell you. His book is fantastic. I was a longtime member of BNI
Mm-hmm.
here in Oklahoma, and The Giver's Gain, that whole concept is fantastic, but you're much more charming than he is.
Thank you. So in January 2026, I'm coming for a US book tour. I hope to
Fantastic.
get to Texas and Oklahoma, but yeah, I'll definitely be in some major cities.
Fantastic. And we will, of course, link to all of those in the
Yeah,
show notes when she has it
thank you.
all out there and to her website. I'm so enamored with how you've been able to just get really big clients and m- build connections with people that are intimidating, right? So even
Mhm.
contacting somebody like Orvis Reisner or somebody else is intimidating. And I had a guest on that got Gary Vee to be on her podcast,
I love
and
him.
there were other things. What are some tips for connecting with the whale?
Wow. Okay. First of all, is really to be you. I mean, as you said, it's intimidating, but excuse my French, they poo, they do the same thing, they have the same fears. I mean, kind of get them out, like off the pedestal and
Right.
understand that they're also
They're not
human.
AI. They're human just like us.
Exactly. But then again, I say, really try to, on the one hand, those people, because they're being approached by a lot of people, try to, on the first line, connect with them either by mutual friend or mutual interest, or by like appreciating them, and then share your ask. I mean, just don't beat around the bush. Be pretty, direct with what you want,
Right
and
off the
understand
bat,
that.
don't try to
Yeah,
build the connection because they don't have time to connect with you really right off the
I
bat.
mean, yeah, I mean, not some would answer you, some not, and then you want to follow up. So I think it's just approaching any other people, but just to understand that, hey, you want, in order to attract their attention, I guess, like anyone else, is just to make sure that you connect with them, share something again that you appreciate, and then share what you want, and then share who you are. I mean, okay, so I want to work with you. I want to invite you to my podcast. Okay, my podcast is about XYZ. My audience is, I mean, try to give them the full thing and still be your
Right.
own self. And I'll just share an example about that. So a decade ago, I approached Ariana Huffington. Back then, she had the Huffington Post, and I just admire this woman. I've always adored her, and I'm still waiting to meet her in this lifetime. Someone said, "Hey, if you send her an email, maybe she would accept you to become a writer at the Huffington Post." So I got her email, and I was like shaking, and it took me days to send her an email that I'm doing networking, and I shared an example of an article and so on. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe she will never answer me. 24 hours later, I got an email back from Ariana Huffington saying, "Hi, Laron, it's so nice to hear from you. This is my assistant. We would love to share your voice on the Huffington Post." You know what happened next?
What?
I had a 4 month of writer's block. And like, oh my God, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like so freaked out that, oh my God, I'm really going to write this. She really answered me. And it was like crazy. So I got the opportunity and I wasn't able to follow up on it. But then I did, and yeah, and I wrote there.
That
But
happened with the woman who had Gary Vee. She like got accepted and then she couldn't do it. She didn't know what to say. She didn't, right? So she didn't do the follow through. She had to come back around. And I think that's that part of us that has to feel
Mhm,
deserving, let go of their imposter syndrome and know you're worthy.
exactly.
So what a great story. So see, she sometimes had to come back and recircle back too. She's
Yeah.
got everything together and doing wonderful things. She also has challenges, and so do those whales.
Yeah,
So do the whales,
definitely.
right? Well, we, of course, all great conversations. I think I could talk to you forever. You have such great stories and such a beautiful
Thank
accent
you.
and voice, and your English has obviously improved significantly since Australia,
Since Australia days.
which isn't
I
a
worked on it.
which isn't a great an easy place to immigrate to
Uh,
either. I've heard of people's spouses not being able to come with them and all kinds of different things. So kudos to you. You made all of that happen. And it's
yeah,
so amazing. Well,
thank
tell
you.
us One, I'm sure your book is available on all platforms, but tell us how we can connect
Yeah.
with you and find information about you. If people want to learn more about your journey and hire you or to have you come speak or, hey, stop by for the book tour when you're in the US next year.
Yeah, so thank you again. So again, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere on the Super Connectors Playbook. And apart from that, I'm available on LinkedIn again with my name, Lirone Glikman, LinkedIn, Instagram, on my website. And essentially, what I do is I give workshops. I do coaching one-on-one on business relationship and building a personal brand. And I also amplify one's brand through tier one media in the US, podcast, LinkedIn, and so on. And yeah, always available as much as I can to meet new people. I'm very personable. So even if I'm so busy, I'm always trying, to learn more about more people. This is, I guess that's the non-scalable thing that I'm not willing to let go of.
Well, she's a connector, so likely she's going to answer your message if you message her because
Yeah.
she's really good at connecting with people. And I love the Super Connectors Playbook. I
Thank
think
you
that what
so
a
much,
great
Deborah.
title. And I can't wait to check it out. I didn't have time to check it out before we met, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to because I really believe in networking. Oftentimes will make plans and have to talk myself into going. It's the introvert part of me. And so I would say to myself, Deborah, you believe that God puts people in your path for a reason. For a reason.
Exactly.
You can help them, they can help you, they're going to help you grow, vice versa. How are you going to meet them if you don't go where you're invited?
And I'll
You
even
don't
add,
actually go do it, right?
we
And
all
so
have our gifts. You have such a beautiful, again, energy and vibe, and you know how to listen to people the same as you know how to entertain them. And we all have this type of gift, and we should, as you said, just embrace it and just put ourselves out there and really give it to the world. We're here to connect, and yeah, that's the best thing I can share with you and the listeners and viewers.
well, it's great tips. And I hope
Mhm.
everyone walks through their week with those in mind. I definitely am going to. Thank you so much, Laron, for coming on with the
Thank you.
show. You gave such great tips and have a fantastic story. It's amazing to see everything that you've done already in your life. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Deborah. And if I was next to you, I would have just given you a big hug. You're so amazing. And thank you again for having me. And I hope we'll meet soon in the US.
Yes, maybe so. I definitely want to stay in touch. I think I connected with you on LinkedIn, which
Yeah.
is the best way to connect with me. I'm on all of the platforms, but I am not so great at getting through a tons and tons of messages that come through.
We're doing our best.
I
It's not
am.
easy,
I'm
but we're
doing
doing
my
it.
best. I'm doing my best. But LinkedIn, I'm much better at connecting through
Mhm.
that. So if you want to connect with me there, and of course on our website, dealswithheels.com, you can connect to all my other stuff from there as well. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review, like, share, tell your friends, and download. Until next week, you guys,
Mhm.
we're out. We did it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah. You're amazing. I love the conversation and everything in between.
It was good. Something weird happening. Oh, it's uploading. Okay. They're on the um, Amazon web that's down in the US. So
Yeah,
lots of
I've
stuff,
heard.
maybe worldwide, and something about Riverside is doing it too.
Mm.
Something went wrong.
They had like a notification here.
Yep, they did. I
Oh my
wasn't
God.
it's uploading at least, so but it says it's still recording. We'll see. I had one that her signal kept going bad. And
Mhm.
if I don't put my glasses on and look at the little tiny print, then I'm not sure what it says. And so if I'm doing
Mm.
it myself and I
Mhm.
don't have a producer, well, I didn't put my glasses on to see what that said. And it apparently said that she wasn't recording anymore. When I
Oi.
went to edit it, halfway through, it just became a monologue. Her part was gone.
Oh no.
And so when you remove the pauses, it's just me talking basically gibberish because her half of the conversation's gone.
Oh no.
And refresh the page sounds so
Yeah.
scary, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, you should.
That's
Worst
what it
case, we'll
says.
just do it again. No, but I think it's
I think it'll be
recorded.
okay. It says I'm 99% uploaded, but yeah. So it says refresh the page. I don't want to refresh the page. That sounds terrifying, but it's pretty stuck. I hit refresh and it gave me a big warning. I don't want you to have to wait. I can leave mine on and walk away, but because it still has the recording is going for me, but not for you. It's like it can't let go of